Hello again, I am Blondie. This, of course, is Minecraft. You probably recognize it. It's been a kind of a popular game. Oh, I think we're heading towards sunset. Alright, we'll do it in the dark. We'll do it in the dark. So, Minecraft has today gotten a long-awaited visual update. This is not it, by the way. What you're looking at right here is ray tracing. In fact, more than that, this is full-on path tracing. They called it the ray tracing update many years ago when they first introduced it, when the first RTX 20 series video cards came along. They worked with NVIDIA, a bit of a cross-promotional thing. But it is actually more than just ray tracing. It is full-on path tracing. All the light in the world is traced. There is no baked-in lighting anywhere. It's not a hybrid solution. Everything is ray traced, hence path tracing. And it's glorious. And back when I was last playing Minecraft regularly, I played with this turned on. This is, like the world we're in, is actually a conversion of an old Java world, the last Java world I streamed with. I've converted it to Bedrock so we could use it as a testbed for the new graphics update here. Bringing back a lot of memories as we cruise through here. But yeah, I did play with a ray tracing texture pack in Java. And there are many sort of bits and pieces in this world that I built specifically to show that off. So I figured one of the first things we would do is take a look at some of the ray tracing show-off bits that I built, and we'll turn on fancy visuals and see what the difference is there. So actually, first off, let's have a look at what Vibrant Visuals actually promises. Infinite clouds. Yay, because that was really ruining my immersion. How the clouds were not quite infinite to the horizon. Yep, that's an important change to make. Reflective water. That actually looks pretty cool. All right. I mean, we'll have to have a look at how reflective it is and what it reflects. Does it just reflect the sunlight? They've very carefully chosen an angle here with nothing else worth reflecting in it. Are they using screen space reflections? Is it going to be horrible and distracting, like all screen space reflections are, instead of ray traced reflections? Volumetric lighting, that's always actually kind of pleasant. I do like volumetric lighting. It just sort of gives everything an atmosphere. God, they've chosen a very extreme example of the volumetrics in this shot, but there you go. And enhanced textures. What they mean by enhanced textures, it looks like they mean PBR, physically based rendering. So you've got what we call bump maps. So instead of things just looking flat cubic, they look lumpy cubic instead. This is a trick that texture packs on Java Edition have been using for, can we say decades at this point? Almost decades, multiple. It's a very old trick in Java texture packs, and quite a lot of the texture packs that I used throughout the years did involve PBR because it just gives everything a nice, well, actual texture, not just an image stuck on a cube. Worth noting right now, it only works on compatible Bedrock devices, which is all the big consoles and iOS and Android and PC, but not Nintendo Switch. They're still lagging quite a long way behind on the Nintendo Switch. The Nintendo Switch did get an update this morning, I noticed, that includes the new content, like the overworld casts and whatever. But yeah, it does not include Vibrant Visuals, unfortunately, even though the device itself should be more than capable of coping with it. Mojang just is kind of crap at updates, which is one of the reasons that drove me away from the game many years ago now. Yada, yada, yada. So, nice little body of water here. I've got texture pack with sort of various glowing ores turned on. As you can see, a little graveyard over there. That's what that is, by the way. People who come to the streams know what that is. Everything is reflected because we're full on path tracing. So even when I tilt down, all those lights are still being reflected in the water. That's how we know this is ray tracing. It's one of the big clues. Because if what we do is go to settings, and we go to video, and we go down to turn on the new fancy visuals, click, Vibrant Visuals, not the fancy. Fancy was the old one. Vibrant Visuals is the new one. And we turn that, give it a sec. Alright, for whatever reason I had to actually restart the world to get this to work. Just switching graphics modes doesn't work apparently. Oh dear, the shadow looks terrible. That looks friggin' terrible. But we do have real-time lighting by the looks of things. The sun is actually casting shadows Right, so as you can see there, the lights from my graveyard over there is showing again. If we tilt down, oh, they disappear. But they've done something with the screen space reflections that most games don't do, in that they kind of fade out before they should disappear. Usually with screen space reflections, as soon as something leaves the screen, it leaves the reflection, and it's a very distracting effect. What they've done here is faded out before it actually leaves the screen space, so it's not so obvious when it disappears from the reflection. That's a reasonably clever way to work around that. Right, so as you can see here, well, yep, same thing happens on the gold blocks and the reflections there of the doorways and stuff. Alright, that's not so bad, I suppose. But the real fun is going to be... Geez, I can't see anything underwater. Oof. Alright, let's go down here. Through my little doors here. Let's go and shut those. Alright, let me turn ray tracing back on. Because through this corridor, there's a whole bunch of ray tracing stuff that I said... Oh, Jesus. Look at these really low resolution reflections here. Good lord, they're hideous. Why even bother doing reflections if you're going to do them at like an 8th resolution? Bloody hell, no, let's switch on the ray tracing and we'll have a look at about how that's supposed to look. Once again, having to restart my game because switching graphics modes is bugged right now, apparently. I gave it a quick Google. I'm not the only one seeing this bug where you can't switch graphics modes properly. So, yeah, as you can see there, smooth reflections, although they don't seem to be working quite appropriately. Anyway, pushing on. So, in my little corridor here is a bunch of ray tracing test cases. So I've got little doors here with light sources behind them so we can check how quickly light propagates. Isn't that cool? Yeah. The thing with the path tracing is it's not light speed, so you get sort of these light trails. So it was never perfect. But, oh, apparently my green isn't glowing right now. My glowing texture pack, my glowing ore texture pack is not working on Emerald for some reason. All right, it hasn't been updated in a while. It's probably just a little bit broken. But, you know, we can still see the light pouring out of these doors is pooling in the appropriate color on the opposite sides of these walls. This is what that corridor is for. Same kind of thing here, except also we're dealing with the reflections on the other side here. Again, we're dealing with true path tracing, so even if they're not on screen, the game still knows they're there and reflects them appropriately on the metal wall there. Isn't that cool? Once more, we've got some water reflections going on, this time with some light sources and a reflective band around the outside here. For those of you who've been around the channel long enough, you'll know what this room is. This room is one of my favorite rooms. But first, we'll have a look at this corridor. Again, reflective surfaces all around with our light sources on the ground here and built into the wall. Just a really kind of cool corridor to show off some various lighting, mixing and reflecting and all that sort of stuff. But in here is my favorite. In here, I built a working camera in Minecraft. Oh, we're getting a bit of flickering. Something's weird's going on. So yeah, if we shut that door, you can see here an upside down smiley face on that opposite wall there, and a little hole right there. This is a camera obscura, and this is how I tested whether whether ray tracing or path tracing was actually working as intended, like physically based. Because if we shut that door and we turn around, and oh my gosh, look at that, the inverted light pattern as it came through that little hole there, just like a camera obscura works. That is so cool. Also, yeah, I don't know what's up with the flashing. I'm having some sort of bug at the moment with the ray tracing. That's not supposed to flicker and flash like that. Oh, and one more room over here. Again, just with a trailing light pattern going around the room. But yeah, I think you get the point. Even with the graphics glitch going on here, the light circling the room there. So let's do a little side-by-side here. So I've got my light tracing on the room. But yeah, as you can see, side-by-side with the so-called vibrant visuals that are supposed to be all kinds of fancy lighting and stuff. Not quite as impressive or dramatic, is it? The torches don't actually throw any of their own light properly, do they? That's kind of sad. We are still getting appropriate screen space reflections, both on the ceiling there and even on the floor, where we've got the slight reflectivity of those... Oh, it's been so long since I played. What are the green things again? Starts with a P? I don't know. I don't remember. Hang on a sec. What are these called again? Prismarine. Prismarine blocks. I mean, it doesn't look bad, and it certainly looks better than what Minecraft used to look like. Yeah, I do appreciate the resurrection. By the way, I'm not using a standard texture pack at the moment. So we're dealing with Kelly's RTX vanilla conversion here. And because we're not using RTX, the other stuff still should be active, like the PBR and whatnot, and the reflectivity of the metals and whatnot. So let's go ahead and go to the corridor. And yeah, again, the reflections are super low resolution. And of course, they disappear out of screen space rather dramatically as well. Not nearly as impressive, is it? I mean, again, it's nicer than regular Minecraft, but geez. They need to up the resolution of those reflections. So let's go and have a look at our camera obscura. I'm expecting this not to work at all. And as we turn around, nope, nothing. Not even a shadow of anything happening there. We are getting the light coming through there, obviously, otherwise it would be pitch black in here, basically. But yeah, it is not tracing the rays of the light in any kind of accurate manner. But yeah, it does kind of glow up the side of the room a little bit. That's a real pity, though. What about our reflections? Actually, that still doesn't look too bad. But again, look at the flickeriness of those low resolution reflections. That's really distracting. I think that might even be more distracting than the screen space issue that's going on there. Why isn't that stable? Like, I'm used to seeing sometimes with ray tracing being a little bit unstable because of denoising and everything, but that's just screen space. That shouldn't be flickering and jittering like that. Gee, what the... Is this really ready for release? And again, of course, no ray tracing, which means no appropriate lighting colors, no reflections, no nothing. As soon as you turn your back on those, every part of that goes away. But we expected that. And with the colors coming out of the doors here, no. I think the game recognizes there's some sort of light, but there's no appropriate color temperature coming out of these things or anything, so you can't use this kind of lighting for mood or anything like you would in a ray tracing world. So, let's go back up to the surface and have a look at the regular world. I mean, it does look pretty nice out here. And again, certainly nicer than the default Minecraft. I'm not going to do any side-by-sides with default. We all know what default Minecraft looks like. Oh dear, my big glass zombie up there, he doesn't look very good. We need a texture pack that makes the glass not have these borders on it for this guy to look good. Otherwise, he just looks like weird. The glowy eyes are good though, and then the spewing water with the reflections still looks pretty good. Let's go down to the roof of the library. Whoop. Plonk. So, how about that glowing lava over there? Well, I mean, it is sitting in a pool of its own light, but just again, it's not quite as impressive as ray tracing, I gotta say. Because the advantage is, this lighting engine they've built here is tremendously more efficient than the ray tracing one. The ray tracing, because it is true path tracing in this game, is an absolute pig to run. Like, even on extreme high-end hardware. But yeah, when you get to these kind of areas, it's just, it doesn't actually look that much different than regular Minecraft. How about down here? Yeah, see this corridor, even this corridor. I built this with ray tracing in mind, so all these lava pools here used to spill out all kinds of beautiful color across this room. But now they're just kind of meh. Meh. Also, I'm not sure what happened to all my villagers. They didn't make it across the conversion from the Java world to this world. They got obliterated in the void of the conversion. So, I don't know, man. All in all, kind of disappointed. I gotta be honest with you. It's not a bigger difference as I was kind of hoping for. I think one of my biggest frustrations is, though, because they've been focusing on this for however long they've been working on it, if you go to the development page for Minecraft RTX stuff these days to find out, you know, how to work with it if you're trying to develop a world for it or something as a developer they want to publish on the marketplace, they've now edited that article with a tip right at the top that just says, while ray tracing is still supported, it's largely been superseded by vibrant visuals. No, it hasn't. Superseded implies being replaced with something better. This is not something better. So yeah, that seems to be an indication they just don't give a crap about ray tracing. I mean, we already kind of knew that because it hasn't been touched since it was first updated. Like, there's been so many advancements in just the way ray tracing is being used in games. Efficiencies and scaling and denoising and, you know, all these technologies that NVIDIA have been sort of evolving for years and years and years. And the RTX stuff on Minecraft just hasn't used it. They haven't touched it. And I'm pretty sure that's because NVIDIA stopped giving them money. Because the whole reason this was branded RTX in the first place is because that's NVIDIA's branding for ray tracing, right? That's not what ray tracing is called. That's just the NVIDIA's branding label for it, their trademark for it. As I've been showing you, you absolutely do not need NVIDIA hardware to do ray tracing. It runs great on AMD's hardware, and I've been using AMD's hardware for, what, a year and a half now, I think, and running all kinds of ray tracing games with it, no problems. Yeah, I think it was, you know, a co-branding thing, and NVIDIA just wanted to use one of the world's most popular games to get RTX branding in front of as many people as possible. And they don't care about that anymore. They've stopped giving Microsoft money, so Microsoft have not bothered tooling around with it. Of course, the other problem is only a few people can use it, and the consoles are not strong enough to do full path tracing. The consoles can do ray tracing, but they're definitely not. They don't have enough ray tracing cores to do full path tracing. So it was only a PC thing anyway. So, you know, I get why they've abandoned it, but still kind of crappy because ray tracing looks so much better than this, even though this does look kind of okay. Whatever. I don't know. Maybe it's time to start a new Minecraft world on streams or something. We'll just do a new vibrant visual world and try and take it as much advantage of the vibrant visuals as possible. I'll find a texture pack that really takes advantage of all the tricks it can do. What the hell is that? What's that little thing? Oh, it's just a chicken. Wait, hang on a sec. What kind of chicken is that? I've been away from Minecraft for so long. Why does he have a little haircut? Since when did the little chooks have weird little mullets? What's going on here? Stop looking at me so I can look at your hair. There you go. Weird. Alright, yeah, maybe it might be time to come back to the game and take a look around. I wonder how much of my redstone is broken in this world now that I've converted it across to bedrock. Anyway, I was just curious about the differences between, you know, vibrant visuals and full-on ray tracing. Oh, one of my texture packs didn't load properly because old glass not be up there. It's not working properly. Again, these are the texture packs I used to use in like the last time I played, so I think they might be a little bit broken. But I mean, look how much good this. Look how much good this looks. How much good? How much better? Is what I'm going for here. Just, I mean, it runs like crap. Like, the frame rate is half. Well, half the 60 FPS cap. I had the other stuff running up, but still. It looks so much better, though. Well, what are you going to do? Compromise. I wonder if they're ever going to get this vibrant visual stuff running on Switch, though. Really should. Can't possibly be a power thing. I think it's just a laziness thing. What do you reckon? Laziness? I reckon it's laziness. Anyway, thanks for watching. I am Blunty. I will catch you next time. Thank you as always to the patrons.